and see. Obviously, they were speaking in French, which makes it very difficult for an English caster to know if they're actually in game. Let's hide that so we don't have to see whatever they're saying. And see, they're playing like it's live. I think we must be live. I really apologize, guys. It was really not made clear to me. Here we go. Whether they were live. I apologize. So, game we're bringing you is, of course, InFamouS up against GC. Map 1 will be Goldman, as you can see on your screens now. Paracel and Dawn to come. Roster, I'm sure you're both familiar with both. We just covered InFamouS, and of course on the GC side we have Zia, Jika, Hexis, Fredo, which is of course Fred and Hunter. And it looks like the InFamouS side have started very, very strongly right now. 140 to 90. Unbelievable start. And GC looking weak. You have to remember though, it has to be considered that InFamouS have just come off the back of this map. They just played this map. They played it up against Dignitas as map number 3, and on the first half, they managed to hold up about 58 ticket advantage. So right now they're looking to have a bit of a repeat of history. The AB hold has actually been secured by GC, trying to counter the aggression. I think that's going to be quickly staved off. You see actually InFamouS immediately responding, but looks like we're seeing a lot of GC numbers heading towards that C flag. You're taken down though by the long-range acumen of Tony. Running around with the AEK. Actually, that's not the AEK, it's hitting a Porky Pie. I think that's the ace. Regardless, that BC hold is still ticking away. Those tickets falling away from GC. Not going to be too happy with that one. Jarrett on the prowl. This is such a contrast to the last game we'd watched. It was real bloodbath in the first, and I mean, we're 4 minutes in, and there is only 20 kills on either side. Very, very slow and steady. You can see Jarrett's not finding much. He's finally going to meet someone. Not going to go down just yet, though. You can see on that overview, you do see defensive play successful for GC, managing to keep off that assault on towards A. This time, though, 3 players now for InFamouS are all heading towards that B flag. Let's see if this commitment pays off. They're putting a bit of a lot of faith in on this push. Looking to destroy something. Didn't quite work out for Benny, as he is, of course, running the engineer class. Oh, hip fire with that CZ straight into the brain of Zia. Not good for him. As that B flag has changed hands yet once again. InFamouS, their 3-man push was successful. It's forced these long distance spawns now for GC. And when you're already 40, maybe 50 tickets down, it's not what you want to see right now, though. Jarrett is behind enemy lines and he's been spotted. Hunter, great check in his corners there. Didn't go down to the man behind enemy lines. Nice play from Elysium as well. Sitting at the back, around that container. Does go down eventually. And now we see this edging assault on towards B. They're really, really cautious. Hunter, he knows that he just needs to get on towards that flag, but he knows that with this building being completely destroyed, he's got no safe way in. He's got no cover. They basically have a little scrap of cover at A, and then it's all just open battlefield. It makes it very difficult to get onto that B flag, especially when Tony and Melisium, or make it just Melisium, are still holding steady on this flag. Look at this positioning. Gets one, gets the second. He does with the ACW. Great positioning from Melisium, and now enables him to position in the what is left of the ruins of that B house. 38 tickets remain though. They're setting a very high standard for both play and tickets. I mean, 36 remaining for in the GC bank is not like a huge amount. And obviously going into the second half, it's going to be a bit of a tough one. That was a huge yawn. Sorry guys, I just hit my mute button and just disappeared off the face of the planet while I yawned it out. Still, 106 to 22. Ooh, Melisium diving down. Actually managed to pick up the frag, and he's looking for the Magnum. Not gonna get it. It was a dream, and that's all it was. BNC still under InFamouS control, and they're just rubbing salt into the wound now. Keeping up above 100 tickets is a real tough one. So far, we haven't seen that in these 3 cups. We haven't seen a comeback like that in a long time. And I did say at the start, but I will repeat though, the maps that we're going to be seeing in order. InFamouS chose this map. InFamouS chose Gorman Railway, and I think it's really reflecting why. You see Benny winning out on that 1v1. It's really clear to me that InFamouS, they really liked the way they played it. They liked their approach. This kind of ultimate destruction, remove any cover kind of approach. And it worked for them, and it's continuing to work for them, and InFamouS may just have a new home map. Paracel is up number 2. We saw InFamouS, they managed to stay level with Dignitas up until the kind of the closing credits of that map in the previous game. And finally, Dawnbreaker for the decider if we need it. So right now we're seeing those last tickets trickle away. It's going to be around 94 as we roll to a close. And that brings the first half of map number 1 to a close. GC need to go back to the drawing board. They looked, they're a very strong team. They have a lot of support in Twitch chat. Saw a lot of you guys giving them a shout out, which is it's always good to see. I think they've got a lot of support. So does InFamouS, especially after their performance earlier. Well, actually, we saw an incredible play. We saw Dignitas destroy 4 members of InFamouS at the spawn by shooting the explosives that one of the teams spawned by. I think it's the Russians, the Chinese side, sorry. The Chinese side spawned by a huge barrel of explosives, and they just got utterly decimated. It was fantastic. But overall, InFamouS looking strong. Look at that scoreboard. You see Tony and Kremer. Kremer was the shining star of the first half, or the first game, sorry, up against Dignitas. And here, yet again, at that top of the scoreboard, all around the same kind of frags, actually. Look at that. Only 2 frags separating the top 4. Really, really strong stuff from InFamouS. On the GC side of things, I think what they need to be doing right now is focusing on map number 2. 94, anything above 80 is a real, like, we're talking, what's bigger than a mountain? A volcano? Some volcanoes are bigger than, but then some mountains, you know, Mount Everest, let's say a mountain. I'm trying to find an alternative. We're going to have to stick with mountain. It's going to be a real mountain to climb. Then again, to be fair, I think a volcano would be more difficult to climb, especially if it was erupting. You know, an erupting volcano, I mean, that's not easy to climb. There's lava everywhere. So this is going to be an erupting volcano for GC to climb. Anyway, let's get those team names up on the board. There we go. And see in the 30-second start period what the classes are. Okay, so InFamouS, they're on that deadly side. You can see, let's see if they can find those explosives that they're going to be next to. And it can be a problem. And oh gosh, can't drive. So they are positioning themselves ready to move out the way. Benny, the only man with the engineer class. And here, on the other side, we're going to see what Fredo and Jika have, what they're looking to destroy. See, at the start, destroying that wall, looking to go straight through the buildings. They're going to open it up. They're not going to get the frags they were hungry for. And now we'll see, as the dust begins to settle, where these players are pushing. Zia, great positioning, looking to peek through the window. Doesn't get the frag he should have, though. Does respond in force onto Benny, pushing up those stairs. And the spots for his teammates are making this very, very easy. Picks up Melisium as well. In trouble, though, was Kremer behind enemy lines, and he got punished for it. And now, look at that. Very strong start for GC. See how long they can hold on to it, though. That's the question on everyone's lips right now, as InFamouS are in that mid-house. Do go down, both of them. Tony and Jera get put in their place by Zia with the Ace-23. That's Melisium bobbing and weaving. Looking for this Magnum frag as well. Not going to get it. 134 now, ticking away. Are they going to go for that trip cap? It's a very, very big possibility right now. But it looks like Benny has other plans. Nade and hipfire is enough to just push off the offensive player. You can see Hunter has made his whereabouts clear. Going to be roaming around. Benny just trying to destroy any sort of cover Hunter could take. But look at that, Hunter! He manages to take him down alongside Fredo with the CZ. And that is going to be securing the A flag for his team. It's going to cost them C, though. In fact, no, it's going to cost them B as well as C. This is dangerous territory right now. They put a few too many players on that A flag, and that's going to cost them 2 flags right now. Sudden change of hands, and InFamouS come out with a BC hold. In that mid area, Hunter gonna have to get some more ammunition in the weapon, as he's going to be prowling upstairs. This building has been unusually oh, I spoke too soon. This building hasn't been bang, as you see, Levolution continues. And the building does get decimated by, I can only assume it was the RPG of either Hexis or Jika. I'm going to put my money on Hexis. Just got his perfect positions. They've kind of created the environment they want, and it's really good to see how much it's paying off for them. GC now in the lead, and I don't want to start eating my words. You know, I was saying this is not going to happen, but in fairness, InFamouS have a bit of a cushion. Right now, GC take 94 away from that number. It's a big chunk to take away. And this first half, this kind of very poor first half from GC could very well be costing them in the second. 133, 202. Exists on the push. Good for the hip fire. It's not going to quite get it. We've seen some serious struggles in the hip fire realm. And coming up to that 3-minute mark. The 3-minute mark is kind of where I start wanting to look at frags. So have a look over at Hunter. Sorry, 19 to 16. Around that 3-minute mark. We saw over 20 in the previous game. So actually, this is actually a bit slower than the first half in terms of frags anyway. It doesn't seem that way. But regardless, A and C under GC dominance. Oh, great nade into the pocket of Tony. That's going to open up this site for Hunter. Look how little cover he has. He's desperate to find something to cling on to, something to continue to cap this flag. He's opting for a bit of shrubbery from the fallen tree, and it might just be enough. The flag has changed hands. Great play from Hunter, but look at this swarm. The reactionary force now from InFamouS are going to start wading in with bullets and weapons and nades and anything they can throw towards this site. They need that B flag, and everything InFamouS are throwing at them. You can see the skulls lining the floor now has just been shut down. Melisium is the last to fall. Great defensive work there from GC as they keep hold of B. The question though is, can they maintain A as well? Two players have managed to take it away from them, but for how long? Jika's in a great position, looking to take one, gets 2 assists. It's all he needs. His teammates are there, Zia and Fred, and now they're going to return that back under GC control. So the Frenchman are looking strong, but 123 still. It's about 20 tickets to 70 right now. Got to take that 94 from the first half away. And they really are. They're inspiring confidence in me right now. Zia especially sitting on a comfortable scoreline, 10 to 6. But it's not all about the frags. Going to be sitting on that health kit. It's a good position actually adopted by Zia. Well, they're going to be trying to destroy the staircase. It is possible. You can completely level this building. You see RPGs coming in towards him. All that's done is opened up his position even more. And look at the blade just ticking away. GC are taking chunks now out of the tickets from InFamouS. If they keep this up, oh, Zia losing even more of his cover. The guy is just having constant changes to his environment. Having to... Oh, he's heard the building crumbling underneath him. He's going to have to relocate. And that is fantastic work from the opposing side. InFamouS, they were like, okay, Zia is a big problem. We cannot take B with Zia there. Oh, that's fine. We'll just destroy anything he was stood on. Lovely play from InFamouS, but it may be a bit of a kind of commiseration prize. Consolation. There you go. Oh, I knew there was a word. Commiseration, consolidation. Nope, nope, nope. Consolation is the word. That's the one. Regardless, 119 to 38. And that advantage that InFamouS managed to bottle up in the first half could very well be taken away from them. And I was sat there saying this is so very likely that, I mean, oh, what was I saying? GC, they need to start thinking about map number 2. And here I am just, I need to get a knife and fork out and start eating my words. Because right now, they are level. They are, these teams are level in tickets right now. It may seem like GC are running away with it, but 94 from the first half makes these tickets almost neck and neck. Now, 6 minutes into this game, the BC hold is being questioned. That C flag is going to surely go back under Russian control, and the GC side need it. They might even be able to hold on to this BC long enough to see the tickets slip away from InFamouS, and if they do, InFamouS are going to be kicking themselves, especially forced onto spawns like that. They have nowhere to spawn. They're forced onto these random ones, and Benny, he's freaking out. 13 tickets left. They cannot afford to die right now. And look at the way GC are playing this. They've played it to perfection, and I cannot... I mean, our team has switched around as beautifully as this. They're rocking a trip cap right now. Oh, InFamouS are going to be kicking themselves. this map was chosen by InFamouS. InFamouS decided to play this map, and I mean, it was evident in the first half. They won 94 tickets advantage. That is a great first half, and what on earth did GC do? What did they do right? I mean, that was incredible. And we see the victors of the map number 1. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. There you go, guys. The winner. I'm in disbelief. Let me just say, GC coming back from 94 ticket deficit. Those guys, we gave them. Each team starts with that beautiful 150, and we just snatched basically 100 of them away. They played from a 100 ticket deficit and came out on top in that first half, and that is really demonstrative of their mindset, demonstrative of their teamwork. It demonstrates everything about how strong that team is. InFamouS perhaps just started stumbling. Looking at the scoreboard, Zia sat on 16 for 7 frags. The guy we saw his positioning was second to none. Nobody could kind of get to him. That's why he only died 7 times in contrast to 16 kills. He didn't single-handedly get his team there, but he was a big part of keeping that B site, flying that Russian flag for his team. Really good play from GC. I hope we're going to see some more from them. I hope we're going to see an answer from InFamouS as well, as is obviously Paracel Storm up next. A map that we did see InFamouS on. We haven't seen GC at all yet this cup, but here we are. And well, how did InFamouS play this? I'm just going to cast my mind back. I believe it was 58. Yeah, it was 58, I think. No, 51. There it is. 51 in favor of Dignitas in that first half. So InFamouS actually lost out on this map to Dignitas. I do recall them being pretty close. I remember it being a pretty close battle, but at least in the first half. But regardless, I think we're seeing Hexus is just going to be rebooting his computer, so we're just going to be waiting for that. I'm just going to mute my mic while we wait. But don't you worry, guys. I'm not going to be too long. I'll let you hear the game as we're just going to wait for Hexus to boot his computer back up. In the meantime, though, let me see if I can get this right. Do be sure to check out my social media. I did it right this time. I'm getting better. What can I say? This is my second day, of course, guys, here in the ESL studio. Second day doing Battlefield. Second day running all this up by myself. So it's a bit of a kind of Mickey Mouse operation. I'm sure you can understand. It's a bit of a learning experience. And you guys are being very kind to me in chat, which is nice. Are you sure your Twitch chat? Are you sure? Oh, what's going on in Twitch? I've just looked at Twitch chat and there's a lot of deleted comments. Has someone been spoiling things for you? People are saying, "Wow, amazing! It was a fantastic game." Did he just pick his nose? I don't think I picked my nose. Did I pick my nose? I don't think I did. Let's just say I didn't. Thanks, Frosty, for pointing that out, though. I don't think I picked my nose. I will watch the VOD back. I have to watch the VOD back, hoping to improve for you guys at home. We'll find out. We will investigate your accusation, Sherlock Frosty. Jump into game and find out how they go. Oh, got it. It's loud. Okay, the Storm has rolled in on Paracel Storm. I suppose that's 50% of the name. But, right, so I'm just going to take a very quick break, take a swig of water, guys. Just mute my mic, and we'll sure to be back to you in about, 60 seconds. See you guys then. Okay, I'm back, and I believe we're going to be getting into game very, very shortly. I just didn't want to leave you guys on an idle screen for too long. So, waiting on Hexus, waiting for one player to join for GC. I believe Hexus was the guy who was called Hexus Bankai, and I was calling him Bankai, and Jason was ridiculing me to no end. Just having a look at chat, I figured, you know, you guys would rather have something on your screens. I really don't like to be hiding behind that idle screen. But I also think that we are waiting yet again. Tonight has been it's been a slow one. And I mean, we've had a pretty constant level of viewers, so if any of you guys have been here since the start, I mean, credit to you. Big love heart coming out to you guys. Does that translate well on the camera? Big love heart, because I mean, it's been it's taken a while to get these results coming in. For a little recap, or if you want to kind of catch up on the guys, catch up on the games, do be sure to check out the ESL YouTube. And also, it's worth checking out the games, the bracket. Sorry, there we go. Words, exclamation mark bracket, and it will give you the link, or I'll put it in as well if you guys need it. If that doesn't work, he says, "I'll be back and spoil stuff again." Mwahaha. Well, not if I time you out, sir. Whoops. Whoa. So, let's talk about Battlefield, guys. We've talked about, what have we talked about so far? It's been a long night. Okay, we've talked about weapons, we've talked about Dawnbreaker, we've talked about individual players, we've talked about teams, we've talked about ping. Let's talk about the map we're about to play, Paracel Storm. Where do you guys start? There was a very kind of split group of people. Some people loved it, some people hated Dawnbreaker. Where does everyone stand? You guys have got 150 or so of you here now. Talk to me. Paracel Storm. What do you think of the map? Do you think, I mean, a lot of people I know who I've spoken to before about the map have said that have been pretty split again, but the majority actually this time was more lenient towards, I really like the map. So this perhaps is a less controversial map over Dawnbreaker and perhaps Locker. A lot of people were saying, you know, I think Locker and Dawnbreaker are like the Marmite of Battlefield. You either love it or you hate it. I don't know any people that are kind of indifferent. So here for Paracel Storm, let me know. Let me know in chat. There's a little bit of a delay, so I'll quite literally twiddle my thumbs while I wait for you to let me know. I don't see why this is. Why do people twiddle their thumbs as time wasting? It doesn't really make much sense to me. What does that achieve? I mean, like, there's so many better things, so much better things to do. Headhunter, don't we all? We really do. Just want to see some Battlefield gameplay. I'll just type in brackets so you can see it, guys. Or is it bracket? Don't want to do this wrong. Bracket? There we go. Whoops. Yeah, twiddling thumbs. Why is that a thing? Why was that a thing? Or maybe I'm not twiddling right. Maybe there's a twiddling technique. I should Google it. Google it. No worries, Steel Cannon. Do check out the brackets. And yeah, I was going back to Headhunter. I just want to see some Battlefield gameplay. Yeah, me too, man. It's the players. They've got to sort things out. I think Hexus was having some technical difficulties for like the Niner. I mean, for the Niner at the time tonight, we've had technical difficulties. So I do apologise. I don't want to kind of inconvenience you. Ah, here we go. We got finally getting some results in from my Paracel Storm review. Justice says, it would be great without a storm. Okay, interesting. I mean, that's an opinion that I haven't heard before. Just the actual storm environment. You don't like the kind of the loudness and the environment. Good map until the storm kicks in. Oh, this is actually quite a popular opinion. We have, yep, Steel Cannon saying it's a good map. Clefodo, storm is okay-ish. Oh, so we've actually got someone who's indifferent. That's good to hear. Storm is too loud. So actually the main opinion we have is you guys don't like the actual storm part. The map itself is quite nice, the level design, but it's the actual storm. That's interesting. What is it particularly about the storm? Is it the sound, someone saying too loud, or is it the rain? I'm trying to think what else happens during the storm. Do trees get uprooted? I don't know if they do. the lag between him and us. I know, guys, it's a delay. It's going to be built into both, you know, how we stream and Twitch itself. But the reason for that is there's 1,001 reasons. Probably because this is an online cup. So, I mean, if I was playing this game, I wouldn't want to have my enemies be able to see my screen. That's certainly one reason. Man, that is a large delay. Yep, I'm really sorry, guys. Frosty says, I wish we could disable Levolution in server settings. That's an interesting one, because, I mean, that's something I love. I mean, this is coming from someone who, you know, a Call of Duty background. Levolution's great. I love that. I mean, when we just watched that Dignitas game, or last game, Dignitas completely, I mean, they completely removed, on Paracel Storm and on Goldman, they just changed the way the level looked. It's awesome. Let's have a look. If we're back ready to go, I think we might be live. Let's have a look. Yay, we are live. And let's jump straight into game, guys. Sorry for the short delay. I'll come back to your responses after the game. But first up, let's go straight on into the Storm. The eye of the Storm, I should have said. Open up those squads and see exactly where we're going to take this one. GC on the left of your screens. And on the right, we do have InFamouS. So, before the storm rolls in, the calm before the storm, quite literally, we do see A and C. Oh, and here it comes, the loud storm. I suppose it does, you know, it messes with your initial interactions. You can't quite hear, in fact, I can't quite hear myself. Let's turn that storm down. There we go. See what's going on. Here we go. A and B under control. Looking for the C flag as well. Melisium setting his sights high. Hasn't revealed himself just yet. Waiting to surprise. No surprises there. The frag landing at that petrol tank. It's a pretty messy fate. Magnum for looking for this 2 in a row. Not going to happen. Frod was there to get 1 though. And now there's a bit of a brawl in this house. There's levels and layers of players right now. It's like an onion. Just lots of layers. Oh, dearie me. Frod does get the frag again. Frod has been hanging around in this building. And that B flag has remained in Chinese hands, though. InFamouS on that Chinese side have managed to maintain B despite this constant presence. Hexus and Zia have been here for a while. Finally, Hexus bucks up his ideas and heads up towards that site. Hexus on the prowl. Knows how important it is now to start strong. Obviously, GC took that first map after a fantastic comeback, coming back from an 94, there we go. 94 ticket deficit in that first half to bring back to win the map. Now we're going into Paracel Storm, a map chosen by GC. And lo and behold, GC have just acquired that AB hold. See how long it can last. Right now, Fred has been doing some great work, actually. This time, though, he is just hanging out on the defensive positioning on A. Meantime, Melisium failing to pick up the frag, and that might just cost him as the tickets are starting to level out. 116 now, closing in to be 116 on both sides, and that's not great news for InFamouS as they started strong, but don't forget, this is InFamouS's map, and this positioning from Benny is very smart. Managed to just wedge himself between those containers. Didn't want to use it for too long, though. Heading back into the trenches, but we see a grouping offense. 3 players from InFamouS. InFamouS is sending 3 towards that A flag, but that is possibly going to open up that C flag. We have to keep that under consideration. And whether or not we're going to see a quick, flexible response. Doesn't look like they're going to need to, though. It's actually Fred and his not a co-caster, he's a kind of brother in arms. Let's go for that. Jika with the Ace 23. Looking that Coyote site. Just going to be hanging out on that beach. In the meantime, the buildings are actually remaining surprisingly intact. It's not something we see every time we play this map. In fact, very stark contrast to last time we saw this map, where it was leveled almost entirely to Dignitas and their M67 laws. AEK of Benny takes down Jika. Look at those tickets falling away from InFamouS now. It looks like GC have kind of hit their stride once again. Getting into the swing of things. Oh, I haven't seen a really satisfying one Magnum. Not one Deagle, one Magnum. or 1 mag. There must be a version of that. Regardless, Milicium's going to fall at the first hurdle there, trying to take down Hunter. Brenny didn't make the same mistake though, but that AB hold remains. And it's lasted a little too long for my liking. InFamouS haven't really managed to deal with it yet. Jarrett, not really sure where he wants to position himself. Obviously, you can see some of the building has been destroyed. Frosty in chat said he wanted to turn Levolution off, and I don't know. I really like it. I can see why you'd want to turn it off. I mean, like I said, it's a point I raised earlier, you know, strategizing-wise. Yes, you can strategize Levolution, and I love that, you know, you necessarily can't plan everything. You can't plan around environments because environments can change. And that's like the first time I think we've seen something as advanced as that in an FPS. But the other problem is does that cripple complete, you know, strategy? Does that mean that because you can't plan that, is that a kind of a tough blow for the FPS? We'll see. We'll see. But right now, B and C still in GC's hands. The A flag has been captured by InFamouS, and I mean, that's something. It's a consolation prize. Gonna say it right this time. What did I say before? Commiseration prize? I don't know. Regardless, 107 to 51. Kremer dying with lightning in his hands. He's trying to revive someone, but wasn't going to happen this time. As we see, jump on board with Zia as he is holding strong. Takes down Jero with the Ace 23. Opting for the pistol, I think that's a bit of a poor decision. Just go back, regen, reload, and review how he's going to defend this site. 105 to 40 now. Very, very strong start for GC. You have to consider this is their map. They chose to play this map, and they probably weren't expecting to win the first. Obviously, they had the ability. They weren't necessarily prepared, as prepared, sorry, for Goldman. I mean, InFamouS, they'd just come off the playing of the map. They literally played that map prior to this one. So InFamouS came very ready for Goldman. And it maybe took a half for InFamouS to hit their stride. I'm sorry, for GC to hit their stride, and now they have. And 103 to 30. There's very little that can be said other than that InFamouS are looking weak. Now, on the prowl, Jera try and get a pick. He just can't get through that wall of Hexis. Just sitting at that A site. See the corpses littering the beach. And now back to the drawing board. Kremer and Milicium, the only 2 players standing. Kremer's on the prowl, heading towards that B site. Seventeen tickets remain. It's going to be falling away from them right now. We can see GC are very, very happy with this. They're going to be trying to lead off. Obviously, if GC has a lead like this, 100 tickets in the first half of map number 2, all this says to me is that InFamouS are out of their depth. If we go into that second half, it's going to be so very quickly over for the InFamouS side. There's no... Well, in fact, no. I'm not going to make this mistake again. Last time we were at 94 tickets in favor of InFamouS. I said there's no way GC can do this. And right back in my face, they threw an InFamouS loss. So, I mean, let's not say anything. But right now... Great start for GC.eSports. Very, very good. There's going to be around 100 tickets. I think we're going to see, yep, 101 for a first half. That is astounding for InFamouS in favor of InFamouS, sorry, against GC. Look at that scoreboard while we can. I like to look at the bottom of the scoreboard this time. We always highlight the top, and I mean, to Jicker's credit, he really is at the top, both in kills and I mean in score in general. The guy has 14 kills, but also he's scored almost 3,000. That man has been capturing points, defending points. I think we saw he spent a lot of his time roaming around the beach area alongside Hexis. Those two were kind of hanging out at A, and it really caused a bit of a bump in the road for InFamouS. They couldn't get an easy push on towards A, and that really cost them. But back to the bottom of the scoreboard, we see Jera 5 for 10. Hexis at the bottom for his team, but that's not too bad. 7 for 5, that positive kill-death ratio. But also, he was left with that kind of, not necessarily the boring job, but the tough one of keeping A safe and sound. Going into the second half now, 101 is such a tough challenge for InFamouS. I've definitely put that 101 in the wrong box. It's a GC, had 101 in that one. And 100 tickets. Let's just have a little review. While we look over the beautiful, calm islands You can see, in fact, hang on, how do I do this? We're waiting for a player? I wanted to try and, there we go. Can I move now? I can, right. Oh, beautiful. So, you know, someone mentioned Paracel Storm without the storm. And I mean, in its current state, when there isn't a storm, when the rain isn't pounding in, it does look beautiful. Whether the kind of obscured vision isn't part of Battlefield, you know, that has to be considered as well as a possibility. That, you know, no other FPS has such a kind of altering environment. Both in kind of the storm element, but also the destruction of these buildings. Now, what has to be highlighted here is Jera and Kremer's decision to run SMG on the engineer class. I think Benny? I don't know if that's a serious pickup, but Benny is running the sniper. Just double check that. Yeah, I'm not telling a lie. Let's see what he's going to do. Benny, bobbing and weaving. Cut to Tony as well. He's pushing up straight towards that B area. Nothing's going to be found just yet, though, with that sniper. I feel like he's putting bullets, just wasting time right now. We'll abandon that idea as he's going to be pushed. Surely not going to get the frag hit. As Fred has managed to sneak through. Not sure how he's kind of weaved his way behind the enemy. And is going to successfully capture this C flag. That is a fantastic play, and I still don't know, and I feel perhaps he ran straight past Benny, but Benny with the sniper could not face, and straight away that C flag has been captured. The AC hold has initiated for GC, and Benny is going to be kicking himself after that absolute foul play from him. InFamouS going to start at that deficit already, and that's not what they cannot afford to do that. With 100 tickets down, this is where you need to set the pace. You are the team who should be doing the sneaky plays towards C, but Frod, it was all he needed to do, did manage to bring that one home. Hasn't really. Are they going to trade off here? We can see they've sent 2 to A. It's going to cost them B though, unless of course Benny goes huge. But look at this. He's with the sniper, and when you have the sniper, you're going to miss every shot. Can't afford to anyway. Benny gonna go down. 0 for 1, 0 for 2 now. Not a great start from Benny. See Jera changing his mind, didn't want to resurrect him. He figured, oh, he's only got a sniper, not worth it. And Benny was in the position. He was the man to keep B safe, and he didn't because of the class. Very big, poor decision from him. And as those tickets start ticking away, you can see GC are seeing that get closer and closer to reality. They know how close they are to progressing in this cup. And we know that if they continue to play the way they are, this is their game. $122 to 125 though, has leveled out. You can see Tony just waving around that C flag. He's got 2 players hunting him, and I think that's the right amount of players. They're not sending too many, just those 2 with the 3 split up. Hunter at the helm though. GC, they're holding on to their advantage. They've got that BC, or perhaps just B. Sorry, C is now B, is changing hands. Hunter looking to defend it, has brought it back under control. And now, Zia for GC is just going to make himself home in that container. 101 was the the lead set in that first half, and with only 107 in the InFamouS bank, it's looking like it's going to be GG. I think GC know it, and with a BC hold, they're going to keep those tickets ticking away. It's 4 tickets, make it 3 away from a GC victory. And what has happened to InFamouS? A near squad wipe. Kremer the only man standing, and Kremer, who did so well on this map last time, he did so well on Railway as well. We see the GGs, and I mean, unbelievable. I mean, it's very difficult for me to grasp how well GC have adapted to this after such a rocky start. 96 ticket deficit against them, changing away from that